Good evening.
Good evening.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship, which, if you weren't around at the time, was quite a cheeky joke, and it did the job. We said recently that there hadn't been any romps, or many romps of late, and I think I tried to pass off Closing Time as a romp, which it kind of was. But this is much more your Doctor Who romp, isn't it? Taking things that shouldn't go together and smashing them together and seeing what happens. And of course, it's written by Chris Chibnall. I'm aware that I've not been talking about writers very much. I think that's a testament to how showrunners change the dynamic, certainly how I interact with Doctor Who, much more than in the old days, when individual writers seemed to, well, I don't know, I felt they had much more prominence. Maybe I'm wrong in that regard. Anyway, that's by the by. I approached this episode with a slight of trepidation because I seem to remember it being a bit gimmicky and a bit of a light-hearted knockabout. But let's be honest, I'm all up for a light-hearted knockabout. And in actual fact, there was much more to this than just a light-hearted knockabout. We get an absolutely class villain, who I really think takes a story that could be seen as quite slight and shallow and makes it quite nasty and mean in places. Yeah, so is it David Bradley or Brad? Oh, well, we're going to need his name again in the future. I'll look it up. Bradley. The parts where he's faced up with Matt Smith gives Matt Smith an opportunity to go to head with a top actor. And actors seem to bring out the best in actors, don't they? Let's be perfectly honest. So that really adds to this episode. I love the fact that it's built upon the premise of a Silurian arc, and that's just a really good indication of how New Who can use Doctor Who's legacy, use its history, and build upon it in a way that the old Who never used to do. It seems crazy to me that you've got so many fantastic creations, and you always either come back to the same two, or you invent new ones every week. Just moments like this where we have a Silurian on a screen, and Amy knows about the Silurian, and I love the fact that Amy gets to be the Doctor a bit here. That's absolutely brilliant. Matt Smith, absolutely fantastic as always. And the whole dinosaurs on a spaceship, yes, I very much enjoy all that. Very silly, very lovely. When Steggy dies, there were tears, and quite right too. I think the two things that I really want to talk about, it's going to be a short one. I don't know what this is to say about Dinosaurs and Spaceship, apart from everything I've just said. But the two things I want to touch upon is, first of all, Mark... Is it Mark Williams? That seems wrong now, I've said. It's not Mark Williams, and it's not David Walliams. Oh, whatever his name. He was in The Fast Show, and he's brilliant. Anyway, Rory's dad, Brian. What a spectacular character. What an absolutely marvellous creation to drop into the legacy of Doctor Who. You can straight away see how Rory's...
It's Mark Williams.
It is Mark Williams. Yeah. Fine snooker player and great actor. And you can really see how Rory's become the man that he is. You can see how these two actors immediately have managed to generate a rapport between them. That bit where, there's a sort of sense of exasperation between dad and son, which I think is a completely natural thing. Not something that I have to say, but there we go. My dad might not agree with me. But that lovely bit where Brian's been shown to be really, in the most extreme of circumstances, well prepared and adaptable in a bizarre way. And yet then Rory does his nursing on his dad and helps him out. And I love that bit where he says, I always collect, little bits and bats on my travels that's cool. So whenever he goes around, because he's a nurse, I mean, this was missing from Old Who as well, wasn't it? Because he's a nurse, he just picks up nursing stuff. Because that's what you would do. That's absolutely brilliant. Beautiful. Loved all that. So, yeah, I just think... And that bit at the end where he's just sat on the lip of the TARDIS looking at the Earth is just glorious. And just such a very human thing. And anyway, it made me super duper happy. And that bit as well, has that marvellous moment with Matt Smith, which kind of cements a little theme that's quietly running through these episodes, which is the fact that he knows his time with Amy and Rory's got to come to an end at some point. And Amy knows that it's got to come to an end at some point. And I think Rory knows.
How do they know that?
I think there's just a sense between certainly Amy and the Doctor that they can't do this. I mean, the Doctor's never had a relationship like this where he just drops them off for months and then comes back and picks them up because it's, you know. And I love the fact that he's got a crew in this. It's like almost like a heist. You get your crew together and off you go and do your thing. I love that. Yeah, it really made me smile. But the Doctor's never had this relationship before where he just sort of drops people off and picks them up again when he needs them or when they pop into his mind. And does Amy say in this, he's weaning himself, he's weaning them off him? Yeah, that way round. But it works the other way around, doesn't it? So, in this adrenaline rush of stories with Matt Smith, I mean, it's wild, this run of stories that we've had, this new type of Doctor, really, who's doing things in a different way, even to Tennant. We've seen now how he's got this exceptionally beautiful relationship with Amy and Rory, and it's as strong a companion and Doctor relationship as there has ever been. We see how he's trying something different, and it has to come crashing down at some point, because that's what happens. Amy's never going to decide. Rory would. Rory knows it's dangerous. But Amy won't ever say no. Rory's never going to say no to Amy, and the Doctor can't resist because he loves them both. Anyway, an interesting development. But I'm loving all of this. With the... No, please.
I would say I love the fact that he had the opportunity to be sort of charitable towards a horrible person and doesn't take it.
Yeah.
And I like that because he showed his cards very early, didn't he?
Solomon's irredeemable. Yeah.
When he tortured his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Just without any sort of, just to get what he wants. She thought, well, what an absolute...
Yes.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. No, absolutely right. Yeah.
So I'm glad that the Doctor wasn't just...
Well,
always being really lovely and nice. No.
Yeah, I think the Doctor's allowed to do that now and again, and Solomon really was a vicious, nasty baddie of a time we don't see very often in Doctor Who. Perhaps we should track whether any more nasty baddies crop up like that in future with Mr. Chibnall, should he reappear again. Anyway, a fine episode. Absolutely loved it. Glorious stuff. Bye-bye.